My family we call it Team Bortles, if you will. We're a very proud group. We are from upstate New York. Both my mom's side, Joanne, and my dad, Bob Bortles, are from north of Syracuse, if you will, up in the snow belt. Grew up with two younger brothers and a wrestling mat in the basement, like all wrestling families, if you will.
Currently, I'm the wrestling coach at Phoenix High School in Phoenix, New York. Randy Bortles was a Phoenix Firebird. He wrestled here and then went on to college to wrestle. While I didn't get to coach Randy, we are very proud of him for his courage and dedication that he has demonstrated in our great sport of wrestling.
I was a four-time county champion and wrestled at Auburn Community College. I moved on to Brockport State and chased down my teaching degree there. My brother Rob played football at Georgia Southern, and my brother Rick was captain of the Georgia Tech wrestling team. And because those guys migrated south, I was lucky enough to come down and find a job in Georgia. May 14th, 2002, I was in a motorcycle accident coming back from a church softball game, and my motorcycle left the road, and I spent some time on top of that motorcycle, and the next thing I know, I was on my way into the hospital, and I knew it was bad because I literally didn't feel anything. So they diagnosed me with a spinal injury. They called it a C3-5 between the cervical. Incomplete injury, which was a saving grace, if you will, because the incomplete meaning that my spinal cord was not severed. I couldn't move anything from my neck down, and I'm still paralyzed, if you will. I don't have any feeling from my neck down. The recovery was long and arduous, as you can imagine. You start out not being able to move anything or feel anything, and you literally have to have people feed you, bathe you, move you around, and those kind of things. Shepherd literally, probably saved my life. They show you how to go from being a non-functioning quadriplegic to being a functioning person back in the community, if you will. Prior to my accident, I'd retired from refereeing. I was kind of moving away from wrestling. And I was basically going to spend all my time with my daughter, my wife, and the family situations. But it was interesting because after my accident, the wrestling community rallied around me. They came in, and from day one, they were a part of my recovery. Laying there thinking about what's your future going to be like. You go from the deepest, darkest places back to the light, if you will, and it was because of my family and my friends that I got back to those places.
Randy Bortles is an inspiration to all of us in the wrestling community. His will to overcome challenges is just the epitome of somebody for the Medal of Courage.
I was in the hospital several times, and Bud and his dad and different people would come in, and I'd made my mind up at that point that if I did get back and I could give back to the sport, I definitely would do that.
He has made his mark here in Georgia. With the starting of college wrestling programs to being a mentor for wrestling officials, coaches. He's involved with every organization we have here, from the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Georgia Chapter Board to the Atlanta Takedown Association, and just anything that he can help with.
We wanted to start more programs in Georgia. We needed somebody that would spearhead that, and I was able to kind of take the mantle on that. In the mid-90s, we had Georgia State Wrestling, and it was a Division I program, and it was around for a few years, and then it was gone. So we had a little bit of a void for, 10 or 11 years, and we really felt like we needed to get some more programs going here. So we talked to some colleges. Shorter University today has a program. We started a program at Darton Community College. We started a program at Truett-McConnell. We started a program at Brewton Parker. We started a program at Life University. We started a program at Emmanuel College. And we just found out, Bud and I just found out within the last couple of days that there's a new program that we're going to start at Reinhardt University. Several of the coaches offered to, asked if I would get back into coaching. And I really, really wanted to, but I was really nervous or scared, I guess is maybe a better word, anxious. I was concerned that teaching wrestling when I was barely able to move around was going to be quite a challenge. So I was pleased that they got me back into it. I was lucky enough to be with Mountain View High School for the last 5 years. It was a brand new school. I had to go back and rethink how I would teach wrestling and how it would impact young wrestlers. I got a little closer and deeper to the kids on a personal level and talk about how wrestling impacts not only on the mat but off the mat. I think it made me a better coach in some ways. I wouldn't have made it through the rehabilitation part of it or any of that without my immediate family. My wife and daughter and my family, my brothers, they rallied.
Randy Bortles is the toughest, most passionate person that I've ever had the opportunity to be around. To be able to go through a life-altering tragedy the way he did and show the toughness and grit to turn around and have such a positive influence on everybody in the wrestling community is truly special. He's had a huge impact on the success of me and my brother. I talk daily to him and learn so much every time I speak to him, whether it's about playing football or life in general. He's an extraordinary father, an extraordinary husband, and an unbelievable uncle.
For a kid that came from upstate New York with just a dream of being part of the wrestling community and being able to be put into the Hall of Fame with all the people that are in there, it's an honor, it's a privilege. I'm blown away by it, and I want to thank the wrestling community.